Let's kick off this solution showcase by bringing our speakers up for today. I'm super excited to introduce Nick Dahman, our Senior Product Marketing Manager here at GoTo, who's accompanied by Devin Brooks, our Solution Consultants here at GoTo as well. Hey guys, how are you?
Doing great. How
Good.
are
How
you
are
doing?
you?
Awesome. I am super excited to be here with you guys. I know you put on a great show. So I will go ahead and bow out and leave the rest to you.
All right. Thanks, Danny. Excited to kick things off here today. And hello, everyone. I'm thrilled that you're here. And I want to go over what we're going to be covering today. We're going to have an overview of AI receptionists, which is obviously why you're all here. We'll then give you a demo showcase of how this all works. And then we're going to give you plenty of time to ask us some questions. And we'll, of course, give you the answers. And then we'll give you an opportunity to try it out on your own, which is a very cool experience. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we're all gathered here today to talk about GoTo's AI Receptionist, which is one of our most exciting products that we've released this year. And trust me, there's been a lot this year. It's been a really busy year so far. But I want to start us off by giving you a sample of what we're going to discuss today, what you're going to see. So let's introduce you to AI Receptionist with a short little video so that you can see and hear it in action.
My name is Luma, your virtual assistant. Who am I speaking with today?
Good evening, Luma. My name's Dave. Nice to meet you.
Good evening, Dave. Nice to meet you too. How can I assist you today?
Long story short, I'm interested in the Orbit kitchen light. Just want to check if you do have a showroom. Is it open? And obviously, do you have the product in stock? I need about 6.
I can help with that. Could you please share your zip code with me? That way, I can find the nearest showroom for you and check the stock for the Orbit kitchen lighting system.
Yeah, my zip code is 22305.
The nearest showroom to you is in Alexandria. As for the Orbit kitchen lighting system, we do have it in stock with 12 units available. So you're in luck if you need 6. If you'd like, I can arrange for a callback to discuss your purchase or any other questions you might have.
Yeah, I do have a couple of questions around the fittings and things.
I'll arrange for someone from our team to give you a call back to discuss the Orbit kitchen lighting system and any questions you have about the fittings. If you have any other questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out. Have a good evening.
And you, take care. Bye-bye.
I love that video. It does such a great job of showing what the receptionist can do. And then when we get to the demo, you're going to see the meat of it. You're going to see the ins and outs, and Devin is going to get to that shortly. But let's go ahead and dig in. And I want to talk about how we work toward offering practical AI solutions. We've been working with our customers on the best use and most applicable ways to use generative AI to provide best in class customer experiences. And we've done all of this with practicality and affordability in mind. So at the end of the day, GoTo and our customers want AI solutions that aren't just hype. They want them to work. They want them to make an impact. And we want to provide AI solutions that not only provide loads of value to our customers, but to their customers as well. And we focus on 3 key areas in our effort to build solutions under our goal of practical AI. Number 1 here is productivity. We want our solutions to take care of some of the mundane. As an example, tools like AI call or meeting summaries. These tools are going to free up your time so you can focus on more impactful work rather than sitting there for 30 minutes listening to an entire recording or skimming through a transcript manually. You want to get rid of that mundane, just boring work, honestly. Number 2 is our focus on surfacing insights up to you to help you make the best decisions possible for your business, your department, yourself, rather than sifting through tons of data, saving you loads of time. And lastly, what we'll really be focusing on today is part of our digital workforce, the use of a virtual assistant to help you provide those personalized experiences to help enhance customer journeys, keep customers happy, keep them coming back. And that's really going to springboard us into AI Receptionist on the next slide. When we had this concept of AI Receptionist in mind, we wanted it to provide value in certain ways to our customers. And what we saw is what really provided us with validation was the feedback we received from customers who got to try it out. We discovered that customers wanted a 24/7 smart assistant that would never miss a call, an assistant that would automate those simple and mundane tasks, and one that would provide top-notch, best-in-class customer service faster and more affordably. In our beta sessions, some of the most impactful results of our AI receptionist was a boost in operational efficiency, a reduction in call duration. There was a large increase in first call resolution, which means customer questions were answered immediately. And all of that leads to an improvement in customer satisfaction, which is ultimately going to bring customers back. It's going to put more dollars in your company's pockets, and just a great experience all around for your business. On this next slide, we're going to talk about more of the benefits that AI Receptionist offers. So AI Receptionist is truly an always-on service to provide the best service much faster, all with AI that is going to work harder so that you can work smarter. It's going to do those mundane tasks for you. It's going to allow you to tackle more complex work, more impactful work. It handles every single call. And once you implement it into your dial plan, it goes through and makes sure no inquiry or lead is missed. The great part of this is that it captures customer information so that if needed, customers can be handed off to the right person or subject matter expert to help customers get their questions or problems solved quickly. It really just creates this seamless, frustration-free handoff and experience with all of that customer context that's provided. Let's turn our attention to your employees. They want to focus on more impactful work rather than answering the same questions over and over all day long. And frankly, you probably need them to focus on more impactful and complex work. The receptionist makes that possible. If you notice that you're getting dozens or hundreds of the same simple questions on a daily basis, lean on your AI receptionist. It has the ability to work using a knowledge base that you can feed with information so that it can access those things to help it answer all of those common customer questions and issues. So with that knowledge base, customers are going to get those answers that are accurate and they can always count on them. You can continue to feed that knowledge base with information about your company. It might be information about your products, your inventory, whatever. It's going to provide that fast, accurate response that's going to cut down on wait times, call transfers, and it's going to, again, create frustration-free handoffs. Now, for me, one of the most annoying things is getting to a live person and having to repeat myself, who I am, what my problems are, what my account number is, what my order number is. AI Receptionist is going to solve for this so that customers have better experience and they don't have to experience those things. It's also really easy to set up. You can get started in minutes. You can see how it operates in real time as well. You can see what knowledge base was accessed, what information was captured up front, if it handled the call, if there was a resolution, or if it needed to transfer the call to one of those subject matter experts. It's really customizable as well. It offers the ability to offer 10 plus languages and a customizable tone. So that's really going to make sure that other audiences are going to be accounted for and going to make sure that they have a great experience. So on this next slide, we're going to go into a few more of the key features of AI Receptionist. Um, I really just want to focus on, there's 8 here, but there's 3 that I really want to focus on. Number 1 is the AI observability. And I mentioned this on the last slide, that you get visibility into the performance of the receptionist. So you can see the information that was captured, the knowledge base that was accessed, and how the call was routed. This is how you track the performance of the AI receptionist. If you're seeing something that may not be meeting your needs or meeting the needs of customers, you're going to be able to easily adjust and add more into that knowledge base to boost the performance if needed. The second thing I want to mention is the information capture ability. Let's say you have a dozen customers calling in. The AI receptionist is going to answer them, of course, but there may be an instance where human intervention may be needed for a callback, or it may just be after hours, the business is closed. Well, AI receptionist is going to capture that customer information. So it's going to alert someone within your business to follow up with the customer during business hours, the next day, the next morning. Number 3 is the ability to set your knowledge base and set up your FAQs. You have the ability to customize these guardrails or guidelines to ensure that different scenarios and interactions are handled smoothly. So those are really the 3, I think, probably the most powerful ones, probably the most compelling ones that I wanted to go over on this slide. But now I'd like for us to take a look at how this is being used in different industries. So the receptionist is designed to be flexible and industry aware, so it can handle common call types and FAQs without human intervention. And this slide really outlines real world examples of how organizations in automotive, healthcare, retail, and education are already seeing value. Obviously, we're not just limited to these industries. We can support many different ones, but I just wanted to give you an example or a sample of what the AI receptionist is able to do here. So with automotive and the automotive space, the receptionist is helping dealerships route calls directly to specific departments, whether it's sales, service, or parts. So callers aren't left waiting or getting bounced around. It can also handle service appointment scheduling and help recover missed calls. So you're really going to try to mitigate potential lost revenue from a missed inquiry, and that is critical across so many different industries. Now for healthcare, it's a game changer. AI receptionists can assist with booking appointments, can help send reminders, it can answer FAQs around insurance and billing, which is going to free up your front desk staff for more urgent patient-facing tasks. It's also going to support new patient intake, helping to streamline the onboarding process from the very first call. And then with retail, I think it really comes down to being fast and accurate with the information that it provides. It helps customers find store hours and locations instantly. It answers questions about product availability or inventory. It can explain return policies. And a lot of these questions are typically repetitive. And your staff, whoever's answering the phone, is probably going to be tired of answering them around 5 o'clock or whatever the closing time is. So this really takes some of that load off of them. And then education, it's a huge help for busy administrative offices. AI receptionists can answer common questions around enrollment and admissions. It can handle absence reporting from parents. It can route calls to the appropriate staff members. It's ultimately going to make school communication more efficient and responsive. So these are just a few examples of how AI Receptionist is already making an impact. Whether you're managing a dealership, clinic, retail store, or school, it's built to take the pressure off of your team and create a better experience for everyone. So the next thing I want to touch on is the pricing flexibility that we offer. If you're wanting to explore implementing AI Receptionist into your workflows, You can pay as you go. If you're not fully ready to, you know, make the full switch or fully dive in, you can take it for a little test drive and just pay as you go. It's that simple. But we also have fixed pricing, which offers 3,000 minutes. It's perfect for a business who is wanting to commit to AI receptionist and use it for higher call volumes that your business might be receiving. So we really want to just keep it flexible for our customers, and I think there's a lot of value in both. So I want to briefly touch on how the receptionist fits within different industries. So we did that on 2 slides ago, but we have companies in healthcare and automotive and even law firms that are using AI receptionist, which is freeing them up for other tasks, and they've been doing it for months now. And one of the companies I want to highlight here is Bob Johnson Auto Group. We recently talked to them. We recently did a case study with them, and they informed us that they were able to reduce their call center volume by 25% because the AI receptionist was able to handle all of those calls. It was able to, yeah, uh, provide fast resolutions to common customer problems, and they were able to maintain the same service quality, and they gained so much time for other complex work, more important, more impactful work. So we're seeing the benefit communicated to us across many different industries. One quote that I want to highlight here is from Armando Kling from MV Transportation. He was really impressed with the observability aspect of the receptionist, as well as the customizability with custom greetings, FAQs on the multilingual support. Um, so we're, again, just more evidence for us that we're, providing a solution out there that is immediately making an impact. Um, but that's a wrap for me for a little while, and I want to turn it over to Devin to actually show you the AI receptionist. So let's go ahead and get started.
So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for joining today's webinar. I'm excited to introduce to you the GoTo AI Receptionist, one of the most, if not the most effective ways to automate your call handling inside of GoTo Connect. Now, the AI Receptionist is a highly flexible automation tool that can be implemented specifically. So first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for joining today's webinar. I'm excited to introduce to you the GoTo AI Receptionist, one of the most, if not the most effective ways to automate your call handling inside of GoTo Connect. Now, the AI Receptionist is a highly flexible automation tool that can be implemented specifically for open hours, closed hours, or even as a backup, depending on what the organization needs, which we will actually see and discuss live today during today's session. Now, if you're looking to provide your customers faster answers, configure better and smarter routing rules, and ultimately fewer missed opportunities, the GoTo AI Receptionist gives you the tools to deliver a better experience for both your customers and your team. So let's dive in and take a closer look into how the GoTo AI Receptionist works. Now, within the admin portal, when first navigating to the digital workforce section, the first thing that we will be prompted with is the Getting Started guide. Now, these different aspects of the AI Receptionist are items that we're actually going to cover live here in today's session. But from an admin's perspective, this is outlining each individual step that an admin can take to ensure that they have a functional and effective AI receptionist. And this all starts with creating an identity, customizing the greeting message for that AI receptionist, configuring a conversation flow, adding an escalation rule, and last but not least, getting it up and running within your call flow or within your dial plan. And when first jumping into the AI receptionist, you'll notice that I have quite a few here created. Now, when the AI receptionist is added to the GoTo account, there's not a limit on how many AI receptionists that you can have or that you can configure. So if you wanted to have one specific AI receptionist for open hours, one for closed hours, or even if you think of it in a departmentalized standpoint, you could have an AI receptionist specifically for sales, one for service, one for billing, however the organization wants to build that out. Specifically configure the receptionist to the type of inquiries or interactions that it will be receiving. Now, when first navigating to the receptionist that I've created for today's session, I'm using the automotive vertical just as an example, but as we do go along in this session, and as I highlight the customization that the AI receptionist provides, this AI receptionist can really be utilized in any type of vertical or industry that your business is currently in. But starting first with the personality. So we do have the option to choose a voice, whether that's a male or a female voice. You could also preview that voice right here before we actually even implement it within the AI receptionist. You could also choose a tone, whether that's a professional or a casual tone, and then language support. So there's quite a few languages that we can support currently, and we're only going to continue to add to this list. But this is where we can select the language for this specific receptionist. So we could have one for English, one for Spanish, one for French, just depending on the type of customers that the organization is dealing with. But once the personality is actually configured within the receptionist, we can jump into the conversation flow and start looking at the capabilities that the AI receptionist actually has. So starting first with the greeting message. This allows admins to customize the greeting specific to this receptionist, whether it's receiving everything coming in during open hours. Maybe this is a receptionist specifically for closed hours and we need to customize the greeting for those different times of day, or even relaying this back to separating them out by department. If this was a sales AI receptionist, a service AI receptionist, I can customize the greeting specific to the department that this AI receptionist is receiving interactions for. So jumping into a large task of a receptionist in general, which a lot of times is transferring them to an extension, whether it's a direct extension, a group extension, or even a queue. When I navigate to the transfer to extension rules, this allows admins to clearly describe when calls need to route or be transferred to these different groups or extensions that I've outlined. Now for today's session, I'll use the service example as we do go along in the demo here. But specifically to the transfer to extension rule, as an admin, I've clearly described or told the AI receptionist if a caller calls in and requests to schedule a maintenance or repair appointment, maybe they have questions around service pricing or warranties, or even asking about recall information, checking the status of a vehicle in service, or even to report an issue, I've described the transfer to the receptionist on in the event that these calls were to come in. This call needs to go to this queue, this group, or this extension that I've specified here. Now you may have noticed this info capture field or form that we can select within the transfer rule. So in the service example, when our AI receptionist clarifies that this customer does need service, before transferring them to the queue or to the group that I've specified here, in this case, my service queue, I can add an info capture or a form to require our AI receptionist to capture some additional information prior to even transferring that call to the group or the extension that I've selected. Now in this example, specifically with my service form, if I navigate to the info capture section here on the left-hand side, specifically to my service form, before transferring that call to service, just in this example, I've told my receptionist that they need to capture the name, the make, the model, and the year of the vehicle. Now, this information will be passed to the end user that's receiving the call on the softphone application, which you'll see here during the session live. But we could also take this information and we can pass it to a specific email address of your choice or of an admin's choice. So from a service example, if we wanted to capture or save all service requests that we have in one central place or one central mailbox, any form that the AI receptionist is capturing or filling out, again, can be sent to that central repository or that mailbox of the admin's choice. Now, even think of the info capture in an after hours scenario. So if we're using an AI receptionist for after hours, caller calls in. One, if they have a simple question, the receptionist can quickly and efficiently provide that answer back out to that caller. But two, if they do need a return call, instead of actually leaving a voicemail, and then when you get back into the office, having to listen to the voicemail or read the transcript of that voicemail and trying to identify what the caller needs, we can use the info capture here to really get specific on the data points that we want to capture as an organization for those after hours scenarios, just so we already have all of the information that we need clearly outlined before we're actually returning that call to that customer. So maybe the name, the reason for their call, and the time that they would like a call back. Info capture here is very effective, not only for open hours, but even for those after hours scenarios when you need to capture those data points and then make decisions based on the information that you're receiving. Now, outside of the transfer to extension rules where we can configure where we want that call to go based on the caller's remarks or based on the caller's conversation, in terms of automation, so when callers do call in and they have, say, just a common question that the business gets over and over and over again, which currently or historically would need to go to a live human to accept that call and address that caller's question, the AI receptionist has the ability to access an FAQ repository or even a knowledge base. And within the FAQs, as well as the knowledge base, these are highly customizable, specific to what the business needs or what type of questions that the business is receiving. And in the automotive example that I've been utilizing during today's session, I've configured a few FAQ items here, one including, do I need an appointment for a test drive? How do I apply for financing or get pre-approved? Maybe some information on our location or our hours of operation. And again, historically, someone calls in and they have a quick question, hey, do I need an appointment for a test drive? That would need to go to a live human. But now as an admin, as I build and configure the FAQ options here within the AI receptionist, the AI receptionist can completely handle these interactions, but also give the caller the answer that they need very quickly and not have the caller have to wait on hold or wait for a call back depending on the question that they may have. And these are very easy to create as well. So if I wanted to add additional questions, maybe we have expanded and we've wanted to include some additional questions that we've started to receive as a business, I can come in, enter that common question, provide the answer that I want my AI receptionist to utilize, hit that save, and now it immediately goes into effect for those additional or those future calls that come into the organization. In this FAQ section are typically question and answer pairs. Now, for some scenarios or interactions that organization gets that requires, let's say, a little bit more information or a little bit more in-depth type of information, the AI receptionist can utilize what we call a knowledge base that very similar to the FAQ can be highly customized to that organization's needs. But within the knowledge base section here, I could actually describe, again, using natural language, on when that knowledge base should be utilized. So in this example, if a caller calls in and has questions around the trade-in process for their vehicle, different from the FAQ, which is typically a question or answer pair, the trade-in process typically involves a little bit more in-depth type of information that we need to give back out to our caller. Now, the knowledge bases are actually created here, and they're all saved within a collection. So in terms of the trade-in process, just for that example, I can include tons and tons of information here, step by step, on what information I want my receptionist to have access to. And with this information, the caller no longer needs to speak to a live human. A receptionist has all the information readily available and accessible to be able to address those questions around the trade-in process, the warranty coverage, whatever the organization receives from a question standpoint, we can start customizing the knowledge base to ensure that we're able to address additional questions outside of just the FAQ or the question or answer pairs. And even an additional example that I've seen utilized for the knowledge base is if, for example, you're an organization with 10, 20 different locations, we can use the transfer rule in the knowledge base to start doing some zip code based routing. So if you do have 20 locations, for example, the caller then can provide a zip code to the AI receptionist, and then we can make routing decisions or provide correct information to the location that they're actually calling in regards for. And currently, these knowledge bases can be created here simply just by selecting Add Knowledge. We can add it to a collection or start a new collection of information. But currently, these are created by configuring an article of information. So whether it's a table of information or just a long article of information that we wanted to include, I can go in and select the Create an Article, and I can start adding that additional information. Now, as you can see here, our team is actively working on uploading text or document files or even PDF files, extracting information from a top-level URL, or even integrating the receptionist into these different CRMs or database platforms that organizations are using. So we're actively working on additional ways to help streamline the knowledge base creation process for our admins within the AI receptionist. Now, lastly, just within the abilities, I discussed and showed how the info capture forms can be created, but depending on where you want that information to go, admins again can clearly describe using natural language on when this info capture should be utilized, but more importantly, where do we want that information to be sent to? So again, if it's the service example, this can go to a service email address with a specific subject line. So admins or organizations are saving all of those inquiries or requests in one central place. And last but not least, within the AI receptionist is the guidance section of the conversation flow. So interaction rules. This is strictly allowing admins to shape the way the AI receptionist is responding. So some examples of that, if, for example, the organization never wanted to repeat the name of the caller, we can clarify that within the interaction rules, again, shaping the way that the AI receptionist is responding. Or relating this back to my service example, I've told the AI receptionist if someone calls in and they just state, hey, I need service, that's kind of a generic need, and it's not specific, but I can use the interaction rules here to tell my AI receptionist to get specific. So we need to first understand that they need service, but secondly, clarify what type of service do they need. Do they need an oil change? Do they need a tire rotation? Whatever that may be, our AI receptionist can be utilized to clarify exactly that caller needs specifically to this service example, but it can be utilized in various different ways depending on how organizations wants the AI receptionist to respond. And last but not least is the escalation rule. So in the event that the customer does not want to speak to our AI receptionist, they can either clearly specify that just by stating escalate me to a live human, or we can give them an option key to press in the event that they want to remove themselves from the interaction with the AI receptionist. And given that they press that option key, we have the option to specify where we want that call to go, whether it's a direct user, a group, a queue, or a specific dial plan for those different scenarios. Now, with all that being said, and after viewing the various advantages that the AI receptionist can provide, not only within the personality that we can select within the receptionist, but also the different configuration options we have within the conversation flow, let's go ahead and navigate to the dial plans and let's discuss a little bit about how these could actually be implemented within our call flow. And as I open up the dial plan, you'll notice that the AI receptionist is just another node here on the left-hand side within our node library, meaning if we wanted our AI receptionist to handle 100% of the calls that come in, I can simply just drag it out, connect the dots, and pick and choose the receptionist that I want to utilize for these different calls. Now, also with it just being another node, we can utilize the AI receptionist, which I hinted to earlier on in this session, is we can use the AI receptionist based off time of day. So if we wanted to have the AI receptionist handle everything for when we're open, but also have a different AI receptionist specifically for when we're closed, maybe they're tailored specifically for those closed interactions, I can select that here. Or even in the event of when the organization is open, we can utilize an AI receptionist specifically based off an option on the auto attendant. So if they press 1 for sales, 2 for service, 3 for finance, we can have an AI receptionist specifically for those different departments within the business. And we can get specific on what type of interactions do we want our AI receptionist to handle. Now, if some of these calls, again, with the flexibility of the node, if some of these calls still need to go, let's say directly to a live person and not to the receptionist, then you have the flexibility here within the call flow. Last but not least, another option or use case for the AI receptionist is even as a backup, right? So if we are ringing, let's say the front desk for a majority of the calls that are coming in, if they can't pick up after 20 seconds, after 30 seconds, another benefit of the AI receptionist is it always ensures that we're never going to miss a call. So not only can it receive 100% of the calls that come in, but it could also act as a backup in case people are busy and start missing calls that are coming into the organization. Now we've covered the configuration of the AI receptionist, both from the personality standpoint, the conversation flow, and the capabilities that that AI receptionist has. Let's go ahead and see the AI receptionist in action by dialing in here.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Yes, I'm calling in regards to service for my vehicle.
Could you please tell me the make, model, and year of your vehicle?
Yes, I drive a 2023 Hyundai Sonata.
Thank you. Could you please provide your full name for the service appointment?
Devin Brooks.
Let's get you scheduled with a representative. Before I transfer you to service, I need to capture some information. Would you like me to connect you to the service department now?
Yes.
I've connected you to the service department. They'll assist you with scheduling your maintenance appointment. Have a great day.
Now, as a user that is handling or receiving the interaction, receiving the preliminary information our AI receptionist has already captured really helps the user identify who is calling, but most importantly, what they are calling for, and what may be the best route to assist this caller that is dialing in, and that is all driven and produced by the GoTo AI receptionist. Now, last but not least, I wanted to discuss the GoTo call reports, or specifically the observability piece that the AI receptionist is going to provide when looking at call analytics. So first and foremost, admins or managers do have the ability to filter down for specific calls that the AI was involved in. We could also filter down based on the outcome. So if we wanted to see calls that were 100% handled by the AI receptionist, calls that were transferred, and then identifying a call reason for those calls, or more importantly, identifying calls that were escalated or abandoned, or specifically calls that the AI receptionist was not able to handle. And we can take the information that we're providing within the GoTo call reports, and then in turn, go and make enhancements or adjustments to our AI receptionist based on the information that the reporting is giving me. Let's go ahead and filter down by some AI receptionist involved interactions. And as I navigate to the call that the AI receptionist was involved in, within the interaction details, we can see when the call is started. We can see when it was connected to our AI receptionist. We could also see for this specific interaction that it accessed knowledge from the interaction details, and I can even hover over the ability and identify which knowledge bases were actually accessed. So as an example, if I'm looking at this report and I identify that one of these calls were escalated, given that the AI receptionist was not able to assist with that specific call, I can identify what information that the receptionist was accessing or trying to access during that interaction. I can review that call recording here or simply read the transcript or read the summary of that call. And then in turn, I can quickly access these knowledge bases just by selecting on the specific knowledge base that potentially we need to go update or make adjustments to ensure that we're able to address those additional calls or interactions that come into the business. Now, outside of the knowledge that was accessed, I could also see it capture some information within this interaction, and I could also see the outcome. So it was transferred in this case to our service queue, but I can get some additional information on the transfer just by hovering over this field, and I can identify the call reason and the outcome. So this information specifically is not only going to help admins or managers identify calls that the AI receptionist was involved in, but also providing the additional insights into what knowledge it accessed, what info was captured, what was the outcome of that call, to always ensure that we're able to enhance and scale the AI receptionist as the business starts to scale and as it's implemented across the organization. So we covered the configuration and the setup of the AI receptionist. We also saw and had a discussion with the AI receptionist live, which was able to quickly and efficiently provide me the answers that I needed, or in this example, transfer me to the correct group or queue. And while doing so, also passing the call details and the call reason to the end user receiving the call. And then last but not least, we also saw the reporting or the observability functionality that the AI receptionist provides, which is not only going to highlight the interaction itself, but the data that was accessed to handle the interaction, and most importantly, highlight the areas of improvement within the AI receptionist to allow the AI receptionist to grow as the business continues to grow.
Yeah, that was such a fantastic overview. Everything seemed so easy to manage and configure, especially the knowledge base and interaction rules. And then the drag and drop dial plan editor also makes it super simple. And I also love the visual representation of the interaction overview so that you can make tweaks, make the experience better. I just think overall it's just so easy to manage and configure. And I know the audience may be wondering how they can reach out to us. If any of this has resonated with you, if you see the value, which I hope you do, then we would like to work with you on getting your own AI receptionist. So we're going to launch this quick poll for anyone who wants to speak to the expert, GoTo expert. Just let us know, and we can arrange a time that's going to suit you. And then after this, I think we have some time for Q&A. So if people want to start typing in their questions while we give this poll another few seconds, please go right ahead. Hey, Danny. I think, yeah, we have a decent amount of questions coming in.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions that coming in. So thank you guys so far for all the content. The demos were great. AI Receptionist is something that I think is just one of the coolest things we've done so far here at GoTo. And I love watching the video and walking us through that demo was great, Devin. So yeah, let's get into some of the questions. Devin, I know you've been typing in some answers over here, but some I think might still be worth sharing with the audience. So
Mhm.
I'm just going to grab one that I saw that I definitely want to hit on here, which was someone just wanted to verify is the 3,000 minute limit per week, per month, or biweekly?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the 3,000 minutes that are included with the AI receptionist is per month, and then any overage outside of the 3,000 minutes that is included will be 25 cents per minute after the 3,000 that's included.
Awesome. Perfect. And I'm just going to grab another one here. Let's see. Let's see here. Can the AI receptionist get clients' email addresses or phone numbers to send them more instructions?
Yeah, so with using the info capture capability, admins or organizations can actually customize the information that they want the AI receptionist to gather. So if you did want the receptionist to capture the phone number or the email address along with some additional data points, then absolutely the info capture can capture that information, then send it to an email address of the organization's choice. So you're capturing all that information in one place.
That's awesome. And I love this next question because I feel like I can relate to this myself. I am tech challenged. Will you help set this up?
Yeah, so our onboarding team, when the AI receptionist is added to the account, our onboarding and support team will be more than happy to help configure the AI receptionist for any of our customers. And then, as I showed within the demo, that getting started guide really helps walk through each individual step. So not only will you have some self-service options in the admin portal, but our team is more than happy to assist with configuring that as well.
Perfect. Another good question here, Pamela already has GoTo Connect with our telephones, and we have Patient Engage. Due to the call volume in our office, how long would it take to get this up and running?
I mean, the AI receptionist is very easy and straightforward to configure. Obviously will depend on how deep and how much information you wanted to provide to the AI receptionist, but ultimately you could honestly get the AI receptionist up and running the same day. And then to that question, like if the concern is around the AI receptionist interfering with customer interactions that are coming in, you can kind of start to deploy it for specific departments or parts of the organization. So it's not handling 100% of the calls, from day one, and then you can kind of start to implement it and scale it as you see fit there.
Awesome. Awesome. And we have another good one here. Jordan asked, how would reminders work? Can the AI receptionist call patients? So two-parter there.
Yeah. Great question. So right now, the AI receptionist is for inbound interactions only. So the AI receptionist does not have any outbound capabilities, but relating this back to the info capture capability, if you wanted to utilize the info capture with the AI receptionist, it can gather, the patient's information, phone number, reason for their call, when do they, would like a call back, and then again, we can pass that information to an email address of your choice. So you have all of the follow-ups and the callbacks in one central place.
Love that. Awesome. And let's see here. If I don't use my 3,000 minutes in a particular month, are the access rolled over to the next month?
They are not. No, it would be 3,000 per month, and it's going to just be static for that month with no rollover.
Okay. And then here's another good question. Um, QA versus knowledge base. When do I know which to use?
Yeah, so QA, I'm thinking that question is more so around the FAQs potentially versus the knowledge base. And the FAQs are typically question or answer pairs. So think of it to where it's just one question that has a direct answer. What hours are you guys open? What's your location? That's when we would want to use the FAQ. And then the knowledge base is going to allow a little bit more information, like tables or articles full of information that allows the receptionist to kind of give, additional info to that caller. So kind of the example I showed in the demo, the trade-in process just isn't a question or answer pair. It's, contains a lot of information, step by steps. So anything additional outside of just a question or answer pair is when we want to use the knowledge base.
Awesome. Here's another good question. I saw you answer already, but just to reiterate to everyone else, is there a feature during the calls that can automate a text to the caller, depending on what they say or select on the call?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, and that is a capability of the AI receptionist. So you could actually specify in the event that the caller says X, let's say they want to schedule an appointment, and you have the option on a website or on a link, then the AI receptionist could absolutely send that to a dial plan that has the send SMS node, and then we can automate that text going off out to that caller.
Awesome. Okay. I know we are getting close to the top of the hour. Just a couple more questions, and then I'll make sure we stick to the time commitment you all gave. Which languages does the AI receptionist support?
Yeah, so currently the AI receptionist obviously does support English. It also supports French, German, Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish, and also some other dialects with those languages as well. And then we're only going to continue to add more to that list.
Love it. Can AI receptionists handle multiple calls and high call volumes?
Yeah, this is a great question. So it's good to know that with the AI receptionist, it's going to go based on the concurrent calls that we have on the phone number level. So each receptionist can absolutely handle multiple calls going on at once. And given that it's going up to the concurrent call on the phone number level, it could actually handle up to 250 calls at the same time if needed.
Whew, I can definitely not handle anywhere close to that many calls in in a week. Okay, let's see. Can the AI receptionist transfer calls in real time?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Admins have full control and capabilities of actually customizing when they want those transfers to happen.
Perfect. And get close to time. So many great questions. So thank you guys for being so engaged and interested. This is honestly so fantastic. I'm in banking. Can AI vet the authenticity of my customer, then give out basic information like balances, last deposit amounts, etc.?
So we wouldn't be able to integrate it into the banking platform that you're using to give out balances and last deposit amounts, anything along those lines. Now, in terms of authenticating your customer, depending on how that is, or depending on how a caller does actually authenticate, there may be a possibility that we can include some information within the knowledge base. But if it's anything tying into your current banking system, we currently don't have any out of the box integrations for those capabilities today, but it's definitely something that the team is looking into.
Awesome. Perfect. I have another question from someone from Stretch Lab, which, by the way, I love Stretch Lab. That place is amazing when you are sitting at a desk all day. But will the AI receptionist automatically move over to another language, or do we need another phone number?
So for the other languages, we would want to include maybe like an auto attendant at the beginning of the call flow that says, thanks for calling, press 1 for English, press 2 for Spanish, and then have the AI receptionist tailored to that specific language.
Perfect. Okay, and I'm gonna try to pick out one more question, guys. Sorry, this is so many questions and they're great. I will definitely pass along someone that we haven't gotten to our team, and hopefully we can follow up you guys to get more responses. So I think I have one more here. If we start with the AI receptionist, do you assist with full configuration before we go live? We might have answered this, but maybe just to reiterate.
Yeah, our onboarding team will help you with the setup and answer any questions that you may have, and even do some testing with you before you actually even implement it within a dial plan or a call flow.
Perfect. Awesome. I think that is all the questions we can get to today. Thank you guys again for joining and being so engaged with us. I'm glad to see you guys as amped about this as we are here at GoTo. So before we wrap up, I want to throw it back over to Nick for just some closing remarks.
All right, thanks, Danny. I want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to interact with the AI receptionist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this phone number into the chat. It's 704-579-5354. And when you call it, you can ask the receptionist about vehicle service. You can check hours. You could check the inventory of new and used cars. You can just make up anything auto related, any automotive dealership related question, just to give you a sample of the type of feedback that you'll receive, how responsive it is, and then gives you a sample of how it would work for your business too. So just want to give you a little sample, take it for a test drive, let us know what you think. Again, that number is 704-579-5354, and I put it into the chat as well. But I want to go ahead and just thank everyone for your time today, for the great questions. There were so many good ones. Thank you, Devin and Danny. We really enjoyed the interaction, the back and forth, and we hope that you took away a lot from this, as I know we did with some of the questions that you answered as well. So hope everyone has a great day, and thanks again. Take care.